Dominic Szoboszlai and Alexis McAllister score the goals as Liverpool beat Newcastle 2-0. Jules, I expected them to be tired. I expected Newcastle to be up for it. Instead, they weren't. There was no Isak.
Yeah,
and this was really one-sided.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Not before the Szoboszlai goal where they were a little bit under pressure. But I think what I love about this Liverpool side, which we saw against City too, they opened the scoring early. The Diaz assist for Szoboszlai. And then
that was some assist, by the way.
Yeah, great. Outside of the full assist. And then it goes, and obviously back-to-back games with goals now for Szoboszlai. And it's just like, okay, now you can have the ball. We're going to play deeper. You're never really going to bother us because we know you're not good enough. We're going to control pretty much everything, even if I think Newcastle put them under pressure at the start of the second half a little bit. We didn't see much of Mo Salah at all, and yet he pops out. Great dribbling, assist for McAllister, great finish by McAllister. It's 2-0. It's again, I think, too easy for this Liverpool team.
And even the other assist from Salah with the outside of his boot as well.
That would have been great. Oh. Yeah, that would have been great. Arsenal are held by Nottingham Forest, 0-0 at the City ground. Arteta says they will give up over his dead body, Gab. Is it delusional?
Well, it's 13 points. He can do the math as well.
So he said that before the game?
No, but he repeated it after the game.
But the idea
he said it before,
like,
after the game. Yeah, no, but it's more impact when you're 13 points back than you're 11 points back.
True.
Look, he's right. He has to keep going and face the consequences. Now, again, I remind you, they have a game in hand. Win the game in hand, and it's 10 points. Win at Anfield, and it's 7 points. And then you ask yourself, can Liverpool drop 7 points in 10 games? And can Arsenal win all their games?
It wouldn't be 10 by then. Because you take away, it's 9, but you take away the Liverpool-Arsenal game.
Okay, can Liverpool drop 7 points in not many games? Yeah, I don't know.
It's more how Arsenal are playing right now.
I was disappointed by this. My man Calafiori hits the woodwork and it looks good, and then he has to come off. I'm assuming he had to come off, right? Yeah. Another boo-boo. Yeah. Ranieri looked good, but again, enough of this Merino. I honestly don't play Merino there. So find some kid from the guy Max.
2 on the bench, but they're not.
Max, whoever the hell that guy is, the 15-year-old phenom. It's too little. Doesn't matter. He's going to do a better job than Merino.
In that case, put Sterling then.
What? Or put Sterling. But Sterling, you're gonna ship Sterling back across. You can put Sterling on the tube back across town at the end of the season, presumably, right? But so what's the point?
Well, the point is still to play the best player you can for that position, and
it's not Mikel Merino.
Clearly,
ever.
He thinks he's so more than.
But clearly, he's wrong.
Well, yeah, but
and it screws the other people up too, because you see Merino dropping off, you see Merino not attacking spaces. I mean,
I thought there was more variation this time with the ball going forward, and he was not great. The XG is 1, so he's.
Why can't Ranieri play center forward? And if you tell me he's not don't you dare tell me he's not a center forward,
because we know he's not. But
well, Merino isn't either.
Yeah, Merino is neither. I guess he's more attacking than Merino is anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. You could even put, I guess, Odegaard in that position or try something different. But I felt they tried with the ball different things with Calafiori. Even Ranieri, the half chance he has where he should take a shot, on the half turn in the box where he's a bit in the right half space. So I thought they tried to do things a little bit differently. There was more variation. I thought they were better than West Ham, but it was not difficult because the West Ham game was so bad.
And Forest are good.
But you know what? In fairness, Gab, I thought, why is Forest not more attacking in this game? When you know that Arsenal are not going through the best of time, Forest at home, third in the table, being happy with a 0-0 draw, where they could have gone at this Arsenal team a bit more.
I think they looked at this. I genuinely think they looked at the schedule, they calculated, and they said, we're going to finish in the top 5 this year if we get a point here. This is a big deal to us.
They go to City, so this is the FA Cup weekend, but the following weekend they go to City and they do the same. Or they host City, They do the same.
100%. And they'll be just fine.
Yeah.
Chelsea roll over Southampton 4-0, breaking a run of 3 straight defeats. All well again, Jules?
Well, it was a bit of a shaky start, to be fair, I thought, because Southampton started the game quite well. And then I think I could play against Southampton and score a goal too. So I'm glad my boy Nkunku did. Good for Nkunku. I don't know what's going on with Cole Palmer. His own XG, not Chelsea's XG. His own XG himself is 1.3 in a game like this against such a bad team, and he can't score.
Pick on an individual player.
I'm just saying, Cole, we love you, but I don't know what's going on. He looks really sad by his lack of efficiency, which you would understand. But it's a good win. It's a win that you needed, to be fair. Sticking with Chelsea, Gab as well, Enzo Maresca said that they will see if they qualify for the Champions League and ask Cole Palmer if he's still happy. What is that a clever thing to say first? And why did he say something like that?
I have no idea why he said it. It's not a clever thing to say. He shouldn't be talking about it because he's not the one who decides the contracts. And this is my issue.
Cole Palmer is not off contract in the summer either.
No, he's got a contract through 2033, but the idea is he deserves more money. His contract is heavily incentive laden. And I think this is why this is an issue. But I think the issue isn't so much about the contract. It's about Cole Palmer. Somebody made Cole Palmer potentially moving on. This is how people have read it. He regrets saying it. He should not be talking about this stuff. But he has no choice because people ask him questions. Why do they ask him questions? Because everybody else at the club is hiding. Nobody else talks. I know it's a custom in England. The world has changed. You have to have other voices at the club, especially if there's all this off-the-pitch crap going on. There was a protest before the game against Bowley and Clear Lake. Yeah. Bowley, we haven't even talked about this. It was involvement with Vivid Seats, so I don't want to diss because I know they sponsor some ESPN shows, but the reality is you can't have a whole campaign against reselling tickets at your own club and then be involved with a ticket resale site elsewhere. It's not a good look. Yeah. All these things need to be addressed. Somebody needs to get in front of a microphone and speak. And don't put everything on poor Maresca. Jules, we're not done because we got more quick hits.
Yes.
Manchester United play more than 45 minutes with 10 men, but still come back to beat Ipswich 3-2. Jules, are we going to blame the 2 goals just on Dorgu and Onana?
I mean, the first one, I think Onana is, for me, more fault than Dorgu's. Simply in the sense that Onana doesn't have to come and get the ball. Dorgu has it covered. He's ahead of Hutchinson behind him, I think it is. He's on the ball. Onana doesn't have... He can stay on his line, open an angle for a pass, and then start the build-up phase after that. He doesn't need to come out. So for me, sold on Onana, the first one. United not very good. They scored on set pieces, which they have one of the best taker of set pieces in Bruno, so good for them. But from the rest, it was not very good from them, and it was not very good from Ipswich either.
Dorgu's red card also not good.
Terrible, man. That's bad.
One thing I would say is Dorgu should look up and see where Onana is.
Yeah, no, true. I mean,
you're running in a straight line.
There's no communication either.
Not good.
Juventus gets bounced out of the Copa Italia quarterfinal by Empoli on penalties. That's right. That's little Empoli. Thiago Motta says he's ashamed, Gavin. So
this is Empoli who's fighting relegation. Empoli who's, rotating players. Yeah, they're way down there. Juventus managed 2 shots in the first half. But I want to focus on what Thiago Motta said because I think there's been a bit greater trend towards accountability from managers saying it's my responsibility, blah, 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 which is fair enough. Erling Haaland is back with a bang. He scores his 20th league goal of the season. And Manchester City win 1-0 away to Tottenham.
They did on Wednesday night. They had a good first half where Haaland should have scored easily a second one. And then they just disappeared in that second half. They stopped playing. I think the fact that Postecoglou got his team completely wrong from the start. I mean, I know he wanted to rest players for the FA Cup. Oh, hang on. They're not in the FA Cup this weekend. Why would you bench Kulusevski and Son for a game like this?
It's to lull Manchester City into a false sense of security and you send them on.
And obviously when Spurs played the team they should have played from the beginning, they were much better. They were the better team in the second half. They could easily have got a draw out of it because Sarr really should score at the end to make it 1-1. So Haaland scored, that's good. City are still way behind where they should be really. You can't play good one half and then terrible the second half. Haaland has 0 shot in the second half.
That disallowed, because you're not counting the goal that he scored at the end. That was disallowed. That was still a shot.
He brought the ball in with his arm.
Okay, but that goal was disallowed because for an accidental handball, right?
Yeah.
I am shocked how many people still don't seem to understand the accidental handball rule. You cannot, if the ball strikes your arm, even accidentally, and it's not punished as a foul, and it leads directly to a goal, then it gets disallowed.
Exactly. I don't know why people moaned about this.
I don't know. I think Haaland didn't quite get it either.
Gab, Spurs, as we just said, are still in the bottom half after that defeat. But Chairman Daniel Levy is busy with real priorities with him.
That's right. He said he got Spurs to send an email basically saying that the club needs to be known as Tottenham Hotspur, not Tottenham. It can also be referred to as Spurs as the preferred short version. The club have specifically requested they're not to be referred to as Tottenham. Dude, I'm glad you have time on your hands to deal with the really important stuff. I, for one, will make it a point never to call you Tottenham Hotspur ever again. Rough night for your boy Unai Emery away to Crystal Palace as Aston Villa get trounced 4-1 with just a 4.31 expected goals against, Jules.
Incredible. I mean,
So I'm not laughing at the fence. I'm not laughing at you.
No.
I'm laughing at Unai Emery.
Yeah. But for all the good things that he's done at this club, and he has, and the Champions League, which they're still in it, last 16 against Club Brugge, potentially quarterfinals, great. This is not a good season from them. They're 10th in the table. They've been so up and down. They've got a bad defense. I think I looked it up in terms of clean sheets. So I know clean sheets is not always very reflective of how strong your defense is or not, blah, blah, blah. But they're the third worst. Only Southampton and Ipswich, I think. They've kept 3 clean sheets in 27 Premier League matches. I'm like, how can you expect to win matches like this?
Especially when you have a pretty good goalkeeper, at least for one half.
And they have a great squad. And they've spent a lot of money in January, whether it's on wages or transfer fees to get him a better squad. And then you get spanked like this. That was humiliating.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think he's a very good coach. And I know I'm being incredibly childish here. Did you see how he celebrated Morgan Rogers' goal? It looked like, I mean,
it's always like this.
But it just doesn't fit him. Like his face, he looks demented when he does it. And then the other thing which annoys me, and I've heard him speak in Spanish when he was in Spain. I have no idea what he was like when he was at Paris Saint-Germain. He doesn't give a normal answer when you ask him.
But that also is not new.
I know, but again, to hear it again, just come out and say, like, yeah, we had the wrong formation, or Palace were really good. You don't even have to take responsibility or accountability, whatever. Or just give a straight answer. He just talks in circles. He does the same thing, whatever language he speaks in. I don't know. I just said, I think he's a really good coach.
Of course he is,
and that's why we're holding him to a high
season
standard.
from them. But Jean-Philippe Mateta, you're an absolute legend.
Boom, boom, boom.
Boom, 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 boom. And I really hope that, and I know the answer is no, but that Didier Deschamps calls him up in March. More job cuts.
To what? Like they need security? Like what?
Oh, that's
no,
so
I'm
mean.
not being mean.
That's so mean. When your country had to go and get a guy in Argentina to play for them.
Right, but I'm not French. You have enough forwards.
Still, I would love to see Jean-Philippe Mateta with the national team just once.
You got to see him at the Olympics. It's the same
but
shirt.
It's not really the same. It's not. It doesn't have the stars. More job cuts at Manchester United, Gab.
Yeah, so this is another 150 to 200 job cuts. And because these come on the back of all the job cuts before, which I think have been close to 300 at this stage. This is on top of that. Omar Barada, to give credit, right? I want people to come out and explain things. He did speak about this. He said it is necessary. They've lost 300 million roughly in the last 3 years. It's hard to now, obviously, I remind you, it's also because, they're paying 90 million a year in interest payments for no apparent reason, other than the fact that the people who bought the club decided to then put the debt on the club. That's another issue. Yeah. They have I'm for the cutbacks if it's necessary and if you think it's not going to impact things. From a comms perspective, this is terrible. Yeah. Barada sends an email saying no more leaking inside stuff from inside the club. Otherwise
they'll get sacked. Yeah.
Yeah. And then what happens? That email gets leaked immediately. Even the fact that they're cutting back in the canteens and stuff. Again, you need to make savings, but you look silly. Now, apparently all you get at Old Trafford is free fruit. It's not a good look. And I genuinely wonder how much are they actually making in savings with these things, and it's always sad people lose their job. They had, more than 1,000 staff when this started. Yeah. Which was more than anybody else.
By far, by the way.
But then you look at the numbers now with the people who have left. Now they're below clubs like Arsenal and Liverpool, right? And this is who you're competing with. Yeah. Arguably even more because you keep telling us you're the world's biggest club, the biggest brand, the biggest this, the biggest that. So I don't know. I mean, this is not a great look. And I don't know. Sometimes when people come in and make cuts and so on, and they're saving a bit of money, they do it to show that they're working hard. I'm like, who are you showing? Are you showing the Glazers, who ultimately are the people who own the club and who control the money? You're not showing that guy in Monaco anything, right? Because Mr. Ineos, I don't know. It's tough. Yeah, it is. Jules, it's not just the rank and file at United. Christopher Vivel's job as technical director. You'll remember Vivel made his name at part of the Red Bull group, then went to Chelsea, then quickly left Chelsea. Yeah. Anyway, he's been interim technical director at Manchester United. Yeah. Now his job has been made permanent, but reportedly he's taking a pay cut.
Yeah, which I guess is not surprising in the sense that you can't try to make cuts everywhere and not do it to people that you employ in those kind of positions. So I can really understand it. Really interesting to see how he does in the job. Not that we've seen it yet because nothing happened really, or not too much in January. So I think it's a massive summer for Vivell, Berrada, Wilcox, and all the people in charge, really.
Yeah, and by the way, the people in charge, I would like them all to take pay cuts because they're the people who signed Dan Ashworth and then decided they didn't like him and said I'm on gardening leave, and that cost them $4 million. For me, I know the Ten Hag thing was much bigger, extending him and his payoff and whatever, but they kind of inherited that, and that was also screw up.
Yeah.
But Ashworth, this is all you.
Let's go back to that Villa game, Gab. Why was substitute keeper Robin Olsen booed at halftime?
Well, because Emi Martinez had to come off. He comes on, and the man wants to obviously train, get some shots in and stuff, warm up. But at halftime, as they like to do at Palace, they do this wacky, fun.
A lot of clubs do that, not just Palace.
Very original, yes.
A lot of clubs.
1980 called. They won their halftime gimmick back, but it's where little kids go and they take penalties against the mascot. And Robin Olsen said, I need my warm-ups. And
which is fair enough.
It's fair enough. You're there. If you're just booing for fun, big mean Robin Olsen and his eugenics, whatever. If you're there to watch a football game and the guy needs to warm up, should be fair enough. Do it at the other end of the pitch, right? It's pretty simple, right?
Yeah.
Jules, let's go back to one of your favorite subjects.
Oh.
Erik ten Hag. He went on a podcast called SCG Stories, which, funny enough, is produced by the agency who represents him. And the one where his son works.
Of course, Nigel.
So you know that they're going to ask all the tough questions. And they're going to ask him all the stuff the fans want to know about, sort of.
Yeah, exactly. And the main quote, to be fair, that we took out of this pretty boring podcast, if you want to listen to it, if you've got 2 hours to lose of your life.
And if you speak Dutch.
Exactly. He said that the current generation of players, so like the younger generation, has a hard time dealing with criticism. And I think it's fair to say, and as we're not big fans of Erik ten Hag here, that there was not much communication between him, or certainly they just didn't get on. Him and the younger generation. Remember the Sancho clash, which is the biggest clash, but he clashed with a lot of other players of that kind of age group. And I'm not surprised that he thinks that that the problem was not so much him, because that's clearly what he said. He said the problem was not him; it was the younger players who can't take criticism, which, again, I don't think is true and fair.
He also clashed with Cristiano Ronaldo, who is roughly his age. I don't, look, I find the issue of criticism interesting because I remember none other than Jose Mourinho once told me directly. He said, you have to say different things to different players. And really dating myself and dating Mourinho, he said, if I shout at William Gallas and say, you're a fool, you cost us the game, William Gallas will get upset and sulk and he won't produce. If I shout at John Terry and say, you're a fool, you're a bad word, you stink, you're worthless, he's going to work even harder. So you have to know the personality of the person. I don't think it's a young player, old player thing. I think it's you being able to read your players. You think they asked them, hey, why did you coincidentally sign all these players from Holland or players who were our clients?
I don't think so. Do you think they asked him why he played Wout Weghorst as a number 10? Or even a number 8 in that Barcelona game? I don't know either.